defeat bulls in the ring, and it's by using their aggression and their power against them. So that's the law, you know.
How do you feel this opportunity, man? Do you feel this is another shot at redemption? You know, they mentioned you gave Pitbull everything he can handle.
You know, I don't think this is redemption necessarily. I think my stock only went up from the Pitbull fight. You see how he demolished Rolly Romero. You know, respect to Rolly. You know, I like him. I met him. He's a good dude. But yeah, I mean, it only shows what kind of level that I am on as well. You know, I really controlled the early moments in that fight, middle rounds. He cracked me with some haymakers. I found out what my jaw is made of, and it's made of steel. In the later rounds, I took control. I thought I won by a hair, but you know, this is boxing, and had I dominated, there would be no doubt. So it's just about growing, getting better, and doing my thing.
You obviously pose a threat to Zepeda style-wise.
Absolutely, you know, he's been hit by his previous opponents pretty frequently. He's been hurt before, and you know, that's where I'm gonna have to capitalize and take those opportunities and do some damage.
What do you think of Ryan Garcia and the whole story with Haney? How that unfolded?
Oh man, well, positive vibes only. Is that what he posted? Hey man, I think it's a bit cowardly to take steroids like that. He can say whatever the fuck he wants, but at the end of the day, he put someone's life in danger, and it's cheating, you know. So, you know, all that shit that, you know, he thinks he's like the greatest God's gift to boxing, but clearly we see that he's a villain, not the hero. Devin Haney, of course, I would love to fight Ryan Garcia. You know, we saw what happens when he fights a southpaw, a good southpaw who can pop, you know. He had one loss, and everybody after a loss, they have an opportunity to rise up and be better than they were before. He took it the opposite way, and he took steroids, so, you know. I hope they don't banish him, so, yeah, I would love to fight Ryan Garcia.
Do you expect Cameron Zepeda to throw as many punches as he usually does?
Absolutely. I mean, I think he's gonna try. I think if I have anything to say about it, you know, I'm gonna do my best to throw off his rhythm.
How do you neutralize that? How do you throw off his rhythm?
There's many ways, you know, controlling distance, you know, manipulating distance, making them think that I'm closer when I'm further away. You know, different changing speeds, changing levels. He's gonna have a lot to think about that. Maybe he hasn't with other fighters.
You going the distance with Pitbull, how much confidence does that give you going into this fight against Zepeda, against another volume and hard-hitting puncher like that?
Yeah, well, I know that I have the best chin in boxing, you know. When at certain different times when Pitbull was fighting Gervonta Davis, you know, Gervonta, look, holy shit, he was in the corner, like, you know, fighting for his life. I took those right on the chin, and, you know, I was surprised myself. I was like, yo, is he gonna, maybe I'm getting lucky, you know, maybe the next one knocks me out, you know. It took 2 or 3 rounds of that to be like, holy shit, like, stop running from this guy. You're the bigger, stronger guy. There's nothing that he can do that's gonna fucking hurt you. And I learned that a little bit too late. It started putting pressure later on in the fight. I would love that rematch, you know. I would love that rematch because this time I'll push him back. I know he cannot fight going backwards. He's had that exposed in other fights, and if he's got the balls to do it, let's do it.
He's fighting Rayo, and I don't know if you saw that. He didn't give him a handshake or something like that. Rayo was trying to shake Pitbull's hand, and he didn't see it. Did you see that? And what is your reaction to
I think
that?
the boxing gods don't like that, as Gabriel Flores found out, you know. That's Rayo's a ballsy, damn good. You know, he'll give trouble to anybody in the lightweight division for sure. I think he's got a good shot to beat him, and he should have just respected him. You know, why double down on the? You know, you're not really a pit bull, man.
Giovanni, how have you evolved under Freddie?
You know, there's so many things about boxing theory that people try to teach. I think boxing, you know, is flooded with people who really don't know what the hell they're talking about, because you can't, if I wanted to be an NFL coach, I couldn't just say, oh, I'm an NFL coach. I would have to have gone to universities, have winning championship teams. So boxing is filled with people who just sign up and say, oh, I'm the trainer. Freddie, as a successful Hall of Fame legend, you know, through experience, through having so many world champions, can say this is the right way, and I know for certain that it is. So it eliminates a lot of doubt in your mind, you know.
Tank or Frank Martin, who do you like in that one, and do you want the winner?
Of course I want the winner, man. I'm hoping, you know, well, may the best man win. You know, I don't really have a preference, but, you know, I would like Tank to win just so I could fight Tank. I think Tank's a badass dude, you know. He's knocked out everybody, knocked out Ryan. That's what excites me, you know. The bigger, the better the beast, the more more intelligent I'm going to look when I slay him. So.
What can you not afford to do in this fight against Zepeda?
What can I not afford to do? I don't know. I mean, the obvious thing that people think is like, oh, he has his hands down, you know. But I never. It was the only reason why I got hit by Pitbull the way that I did was because he is a very short, tricky bastard. You know, a lot of people are like, that's the worst kind of guy to fight. You know, like. Yeah. So I think the height is more even here. And it actually serves in my favor to have my hands down. My defense is better, my head movement is better, I can use my angles. I understand those angles better.
He's talked about sparring one of the guys that supposedly gets avoided a lot, which is Uriel Matias at 140. What do you say to him saying like that he spars guys like that que pegan, you know, bien recio, que pegan fuerte?
That's pretty good, you know, good for him. I hopefully, you know, I think it's just because it's a left-handed fighter, you know, doesn't mean that it's serving him the way that he thinks it is. You know, I think that you have to get a guy who's clever with a good jab, keeping, you know, the pace and moving around the ring. That's what he needed. But, you know, Subrel he's a good, smart southpaw, but he's a power guy, I think, right?
Describe the 135-pound division. Where do you see yourself after this fight?
Well, I think there shouldn't be a doubt in anyone's mind. If I dominate this guy and I beat him, then I am the #1 contender in the world. That's it, you know. I would love to fight Shakur Stevenson. I don't know why they're matching him with, I don't even know the guy's name that he's fighting, no disrespect, but...
I heard him with Venetian, he fought Frank Martin.
Oh, did he win that fight?
It was very close, but Frank Martin won.
Oh, okay.
151.
Oh, that's the one where they barely threw any punches, right?
And he took a knee in the last round.
Ooh. You know, no disrespect, I just really didn't know him. But, you know, to be a world champion, you know, you should be taking on guys like Zepeda or like me, you know, and not someone who just lost in the last one.
Giovanni, are you currently signed by any promotional company?
I'm not signed with anybody.
Would you like to be signed by anybody after this fight?
Well, when I do win, you know, I'm looking, you know, I'm inspired by guys like Sugar Ray Robinson, business minds like Floyd Mayweather, and obviously Oscar De La Hoya. I would like to be part of my own promotion, promoting my own fights as well, but I would love to work with every promoter that's interested in put on.
You have worked on the PBC card, pretty much
on my way.
So do you feel like at the end of the day the fighter reacts and controls who they fight, or you know sometimes they say, oh, it's because he's on the zone or he's with Top Rank, so that's why he's not gonna fight. Do you feel as a fighter who has fought in different platforms that the fighter at the end of the day is the one who chooses where they fight and who they fight?
Well, at the end of the day, I feel like everybody, like after Floyd Mayweather changed the model of boxing in everyone's mind, we all started to think of it as a business. And then it's all about clever matchmaking, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, a fighter is in charge. Nobody, I don't care what kind of contract you're under. If you say, I don't want to fight, no one's going to force you to fight. You can choose who you want to fight. So, you know, boxing needs to go back to its golden era of everybody fights everybody. You know, that's the only way to the top. The cream should rise to the top. I think it's just an excuse. I think people hide behind that answer.
Adrian Broner or Blair to Flair?
Woo! Going for Blair to Flair. That's my guy.
Now, you see the poster. What do you think about the picture they picked?
Thank God he said something about that, man. For the Pitbull fight, I was like, wow, this is the most historic fights of the modern era, the most important welterweight fight since Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather, and they made me look like a goddamn giraffe, man. I was like, holy shit, that was the ugliest thing. They're gonna look back in history and be like, that guy was ugly, man. But no, thankfully that they did me justice here.
And you're 10.
Yeah, I got a nice little tan. Looks like I was on
So
vacation.
when you go through the airport and people you look familiar, who do they confuse you with the most?
Oh man, that's hilarious. They always say, well, some people say Ryan Garcia.
Do you see that?
Yeah, a little bit. We're like the same prototype, like light-skinned Mexican kind of tall. You know.
Do you see Ryan Garcia?
People say John Leguizamo,
I can see that.
which is always hilarious. And you know, hopefully Carlito's Way, John Leguizamo, not the pest. You know, that shit's embarrassing when people bring that up.
He played a boxer in a movie too, but
A great actor, brother. Great actor. Big
what
fan.
does Haney do next?
Haney, shit. He needs to regroup. You know, no.